Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me once again. Let's go ahead and get into this book review. Today, I will be reviewing the book called The Hare by Melanie Finn. And this is the cover of the book. I think it's so cute. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this goodness. This story is about a woman named Rosie / Rose that has come from humble beginnings. Her parents died and she went to live with her grandmother that kept a boarding house. And Rose was, in my opinion, treated like an inconvenience burden. The grandmother provided a roof over Rose's head, food, clothing, and kept her alive. And that was pretty much the extent of it, okay? Rosie grew up to be a plain person. She didn't have anything extraordinary or eye-catching or fantastic about her. She didn't think highly of herself or her abilities. Rose entered into college and lived on campus and was an art major, if I recall correctly. At least that's how she ran into Bennett one Sunday at an art gallery. Bennett sparked a conversation with Rose, and things kind of grew from there. Rose didn't have experience with men and became smitten and swept away by the attention of Bennett. A summer tryst between Rose and Bennett changed the trajectory of her life, and not for the better. Bennett showed Rose things she had not been accustomed to, and she had on blinders where he was concerned for a good majority of their relationship. And things took a turn when Rose became pregnant. Rose didn't return to school and was pregnant, and Bennett changed, and not for the better. Bennett was not the wealthy man he claimed to be. His family had money, but due to Bennett squandering and gallivanting, his position in the family and resources were liquidated before Rose came into the picture. Bennett lived off the generosity of his wealthy friends, his remaining sister, and his sticky finger ways. Things began to come to light, and Bennett removed Rose and their daughter, Miranda, to what I would call the backwoods. They moved into a dilapidated cottage that was owned by Bennett's family. Bennett does some more shady activities and lands himself in jail. Rose and Miranda are left to fend for themselves. This story pretty much tells about the journey Rose goes through as a single parent and living in the backwoods with nothing to her name to speak of, and having to figure it all out on how to survive and raise Miranda. There are people that come into Rose's life that help her navigate, but the journey is still a rough one. Miranda grows up to be an educated and accomplished woman. As an adult, Miranda is now wanting answers about her father and where she comes from. Miranda hires a private investigator to start digging around to get the answers she has yet to glean from Rosie. This starts a whole ripple down effect, causing Rosie to take drastic measures. I will say this is a survivor story for sure. However, for the life of me, I didn't get why Rosie would stay in the condition she found herself to be in. I mean, she was young. She was obviously smart enough to get into college. I mean, she had some sense. And even though she had a child, didn't mean she had to stay where Bennett left them. Rosie definitely learned some survival skills on how to live in this wilderness-like conditions, but I kept thinking that she would just get up and venture out to a new place and set up a better life for her and her child. I mean, I thought, man, she's living a hard life. I mean, I couldn't imagine living years upon years like that. I don't know. I believe there was a mindset issue of her self-worth, her lack of confidence in her abilities. I mean, maybe some fear of the unknown. You know, sometimes people stay in the hell that they know versus the fear of going to a hell they may or may not know how to deal with. But at any rate, it was a continuing thought while reading this book of, why is she still here? Like, I know this is not the only place in the world that they can live. Like, I don't know about this. Me and my baby would have backed up. I would not have stayed in these conditions year after year. Like, no. I will give a warning. There is some violence and death described in the book. Not too gruesome though, but it definitely gives you a clear picture of what happened. This book can bring a plethora of good topics, such as what one would endure to survive. Most definitely a topic on self-worth and what one is willing to settle for in life. Dynamics of friendships and relationships. The topic of how having an absent parent or parents can affect you, not only as a child, but also as an adult. The topic of mental instability, and how it shows up in one's life if not treated. The question of why would anyone choose to live this way? Rosie may not have chosen this way of life in the beginning, but at some point she did make a choice to stay living as she did. It can also generate a conversation about access to resources in small towns and rural communities especially. And then the stigma of receiving services by those that receive and those that don't. I thought this was a moderate paced book. And there were some highs and lows. After all the author took us readers through, I am not a fan of the ending. Okay? I just want to say I'm not a fan of the ending. However, it is a good book. It's a good read. I give it a 4 out of 5. So subscribe, like, click share, tell a friend. And if you've read the book, comment your thoughts. I would like to know what you think about this book for sure. And until next time, keep turning the pages, my book lover.